Okay, welcome back everybody to the Dream Whisperer of Jesus, where we discuss and interpret prophetic dreams. Today we've got a black-shouldered kite in shot. It's a beautiful raptor of the Australian bush. But I'm going to share a prophetic dream I received about Russia, so we'll zoom out and we'll share the dream. So I'll just zoom out here. So the kite's up there in the tree, but we can't really see it. So this is a dream that I received on 30th of September, just a few weeks ago, about Russia. It was a 3-part dream, but today I'll just share part 3 of the dream. So in part 3 of the dream, I was at a building and I saw the President of Russia, President Putin, and he was meeting with, it felt like there was about 30 or 40 leaders of various nations and governments around the world, and it was like Putin was their leader, and a lot of the nations I saw black men, black gentlemen. So President Putin, he's gained a lot of influence in Africa and amongst the African nations. That's what I saw in the dream. And so he was talking to them, and I knew it was the nature of the discussion was in regards to military affairs. So it was some kind of strategic or military discussion that was happening. And then as I continued to watch, it's just a very basic drawing, but as I watched, a really grotesque, malnourished child was brought into the room, and it was starving and malnourished. It was really bad, but it was brought into the room, and it was like President Putin was going to look after this child. So if you've been following the world news, you might have noticed, I didn't do a Google search before I made this video, but it was about, was it 1 month or 2 months ago, there was a whole lot of controversy about various African nations are not going to get enough grain, and President Putin came out in public and said that he would, if there was an African nation starving and having a famine, he would provide the grain for free to make sure that there wasn't a famine and starving masses of starving children, etc. So in this dream, God was showing me that President Putin's become very influential in African politics, and one of the reasons is that it's like in the spiritual realm, he's taken care of this starving famine child, if you like. So there's a number of African states that are vulnerable to experiencing famine, and they've all basically been recruited or befriended by President Putin. So Russia's influence in African politics has become quite powerful. That's what I was seeing in the dream. So just as a general summary, in the first Cold War, the world could basically be divided into 3 major groups: the West, the non-aligned or neutral camp, and then for this video today I've called it the pro-Russia camp. But in this dream I could see, I didn't have an exact number, but I could see and feel there were like 30 to 40 nations that were really pro-Russian in their outlook, and a lot of them were African nations. That's what I was seeing. So if, as far as an update on world affairs and the military alignment of countries, if you like, in the dream I knew it wasn't about economic alignment, but it was about military alignment. But there's about 30 to 40 nations that are really closely aligned with Russia in the military domain now. And then for the collective West, you still have roughly 40 to 50 nations, and then in between, in the non-aligned neutral movement, you've got sort of 100, 110, maybe even 120 non-aligned countries. So the most sort of notable non-aligned countries are countries like India, Brazil. So India and Brazil, they're friends of Russia, but I definitely wouldn't call them allies, if you like. But there's certainly 30 to 40 nations that are sort of becoming, they haven't signed a treaty or defense agreement with Russia, but they're almost like allies. So it's quite interesting how the world continues to evolve and develop into the second Cold War. So that's what I had to share for today, and the black-shouldered kite is still there, chilling out, surveying its kingdom. A really beautiful bird of the Australian bush. They've got beautiful blood red eyes, but he's looking away from the camera at the moment. Okay, I'll turn off this video, but I did make another video with a close-up of this black-shouldered kite. There we go. Hello, birdie. Okay, God bless you, brothers and sisters in Christ. God bless you. Bye-bye.